Hello, Hope Chapel. Pastor Joseph here, and today we are going to look at chapters 25 through 27 of Ezekiel. In the previous section, we saw judgment on Israel, and in this section, we see that God uses Babylon to enforce his judgment on the other nations surrounding Israel: Ammon, Moab, Edom, Philistia, and Tyre. And at the very beginning of the reading today, we see an interesting text. Let's look at Ezekiel 25, 6 through 7. For this is what the sovereign Lord says: because you have clapped your hands and stomped your feet, rejoicing with all the malice of your heart against the land of Israel, therefore I will stretch out my hand against you and give you as plunder to the nations. I will wipe you out from among the nations and exterminate you from the countries. I will destroy you, and you will know that I am the Lord. What we see in this text is that it highlights that these nations were not only judged because of their actions and their self-reliance, but they were also judged for the attitude of their hearts, especially on how they responded to Israel's suffering. These nations rejoiced when Israel fell. They actually mocked. And today is a healthy reminder that God is not only concerned with personal sin, but how we respond to the brokenness of other people. Instead of compassion, these nations responded with celebration. Instead of humility, they responded with pride. Now let's use this morning as a reminder that it's not our kingdom versus their kingdom, but God is a God that delights in unity. This reminds me of what is actually the fourth shortest chapter in the entire Bible. It's only 3 verses and 68 words, fun fact, and that's Psalm 133. Psalm 133 says this: "How good and pleasant is it when God's people live together in unity. It is like a precious oil poured out on the head, running down on the beard and running down on Aaron's beard, run down the collar of his robe. It is as if the dew of Hermon were falling on Mount Zion, for there the Lord bestows his blessing, even life forevermore." God delights in our togetherness, and not when we celebrate each other's downfall. Our invitation and challenge today is to examine our hearts and to look at our neighbors as ourselves. Would you pray with me? God, we thank you that you are a God of all peoples and all nations. God, I pray that as we examine our hearts, God, that we would be able to love ourselves well and love our neighbors as ourselves. God, we invite you into these spaces in our lives, and we ask you to do a work within us. We pray these things through your Son, Jesus' mighty name. Amen.